Just wanted to bring you an awesome testimony with the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Abbott. He's been crushing it with TurboTax. It's been fun to see all his wins, and he's simply just using it as it was intended to be used. He's sending out text blasts consistently. He's following up with leads. He's setting appointments, and he's just working the leads. And he's had a great start. So first 2 weeks, while still on the free trial, he's earned over $5,000 in total submitted business, which is amazing without spending a dime on the software yet. And now he's about a month and a half into it, and he'll kind of share with you guys his experience so far, and any ins and outs of how he uses it and how you guys can use it the same way and get very similar results. So with that, how are we doing, Daniel?
Good, man. How are you?
Couldn't be better. I'm excited for Miami for the huge FFL convention coming up. About to catch my flight here soon. But tell us a little bit about TurboTax. I mean, your experience. What were your thoughts kind of before you started your account? And just tell us about your first 2 weeks and how that went.
Yeah, so I was looking for some type of text campaign. I knew something like this had to exist, but I did a little research and came across TurboTax. And yeah, the first 2 weeks, it was awesome. I think I put in, I think it was like 300 and something leads, had quite a few people text back, had one couple text back, and I'd actually bought the lead back in July. This was December, so I'm about 45 days into using TurboTax. So basically, a 6-month-old lead. I started talking to him over text. Actually, did everything over text, pretty much the entire appointment over text. And out of that home was over $5K issue paid, just out of that one home with TurboTax. So I think I went back and looked at my different accounts and stuff that I'd called over 10 times. So never picked up the phone, never nothing, but first text went out, boom, responded and got the appointment and got it booked.
That's amazing. So I guess you can say you had a pretty good 2-week trial just to kick things off, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from my experience, what I was doing, I started out going running in home and then kind of switched over to telesales. And so it was just something that I knew I needed, was some type of texting campaign, because I was doing it all by hand. I was copy and pasting and doing all this, and you just can't do a campaign with somebody by copy and pasting. It takes up all your time, especially as you're adding more and more people into it. So yeah, it's definitely saved me a ton of time and made me a ton of money now in the first 45 days.
That's awesome. I love it. And a lot of those leads, like you were telling me before, is that you try to get a hold of them. Like you were calling them multiple times, triple dialing, like a lot of agents do, and just trying to get a hold of them. But maybe they had some type of call blocker on their phone, or they just don't answer random numbers, and they just don't feel comfortable talking to strangers on the phone, whatever it may be. But you were able to get through to them via text, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I put myself as the client, being younger in my 30s, of course, if somebody texts me, I'm going to read it. Calls, I'll go, oh, they'll call me back, whatever, if they really need me. But a text, I'll for sure read it. And it's funny, probably out of the 12K I've written, probably I would say 9 to 10 of it has been final expense. So it's been older people and they've been texting me back. So it's not, the thing we have in our head is all older people don't text, they just answer the phone or whatever. No, I mean, most of them are older people, 65 and older, that are giving me a text back.
Yeah, grandma can text now. My grandma can. She's about 90, and she sends me text messages, and she's learning the technology. It took her a little while to catch on, but yeah, the older folks, they know how to text now. They got to figure it out. They're talking to their grandchildren, their family, whatever. So they're figuring out the text game as well. So that's awesome. So you said about 12,000 now. So it's been about a month and a half or so since you've been using it. And you said about 12,000 total submitted.
Yeah, just over the last 48 hours, it'll be over 3,500, I think 3,600 is what I've submitted. Both appointments been set up through TurboTax.
Not bad. Just getting started. That's exciting. Super cool. And what would you say, like, to another agent that is watching this? Maybe they have been dialing a lot. They've just been doing everything over the phone, dialing or whatever it may be, and they're looking into TurboTax. Or saying, "Hey, I don't know if I want to, spend the extra money on a software." They're just kind of on the fence. What would you say to someone like that?
So it's funny. I had this conversation today with one of my newer agents, and I actually told them I would get rid of other services, triple dial, and all that stuff that we can use to make, time, and time is money in this business. We all know that, but I would get rid of all that and keep TurboTax if I had to choose. Just
Yeah.
because TurboTax, I can look and directly be like, hey, TurboTax has made me money where I have not. I use all those systems. I've been picking up the phone, dialing. They never answered. But I can, look at TurboTax and say, hey, this software has made me X amount of dollars. So for me, if you're not using it, as a telesales agent, what I would say, and even if you're not a telesales agent, you're running appointments in the field, you can't door knock every lead. If you're buying 100 instant internet leads on Monday, you can't door knock all 100 of them. Like, you just can't do it. So
Right.
if you're not door knocking all of them, you're not getting a hold of all of them, you have a bunch of unresolved leads in your CRM that, you may go send them a text, but a lot of people don't respond in one text. I mean, the lady I just, prior to us jumping on here, I just went to and ran an appointment. The lady was a 5-month-old lead. I think the system had sent her 6 or 7 messages, no response. Her 6th message, she responds. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't have sent myself her 6 messages. Number
Right.
one, because I couldn't think up enough stuff to send her 6 messages,
Yeah.
but it's all in the system. And I wouldn't take time to send the same person, because most people, you send them a text, they don't answer. Okay, I text them, they're done. Right. You burn that lead. So if you're not resolving your leads by putting them, by door knocking them, or putting them in some type of campaign, a text campaign, then you have a bunch of unresolved leads. You have money sitting out there.
Right. Yeah. And you already invested the money into the leads anyway, right? You're already spending the money. Might as well resolve every single one. And the best way to do it, if you can't get a hold of them over the phone, is to send them a text. And like you mentioned, it has that drip campaign. So for those that haven't used the software yet, they're curious how it works. It's kind of like an email campaign, but it's via text. And text is 90% more likely someone's going to respond to a text message than an email. Emails go into junk folder, spam, they skip past it, whatever. You get a text message, they're way more likely to respond, especially when it drips on them. First text goes out, maybe they don't respond. A day later, another text goes out. Auto follows up for you, right? If they don't respond, maybe 2, 3 days later, there's another text goes out. And these texts are all designed specifically for life insurance agents, and they're tried and true, tested, trial and error to figure out what works, what doesn't, what's effective, how to get that appointment over text. And it auto follows up with them. And as we know in sales, the fortune's in the follow up. But if you can have a system following up for you and just squeezing all those appointments out of that lead list as much as possible, it's a no-brainer. It makes a lot of sense, and that's how it was designed. So that's really cool. How you realize that the 6 text message that went out probably a month after you initially texted her, she's like, "All right, this guy's persistent. He's touching base. I got nothing going on the next couple of days. Now I'll reach back out now and let them know I do need this. Let's get it taken care of." It's a nice reminder for the client, like, yeah, I got to get this taken care of. So that's cool. With TurboTax, there's a lot of different features. There's the text templates, there's the drip, there's the pre-built side of it for other agents to easily plug in, and there's a lot of different features. What would you say is your favorite feature out of all of them that you've experienced, or maybe a few features that you really like about it?
So personally, a couple. Number one, like building an agency with FFL, I found that the templates have helped some newer agents that weren't really good on the phones, even with rebuttals,
Mm-hmm.
but they put them in here and it has the rebuttals. If it actually says, if they say yes to this message, here's what you send them. If they say, not interested, whatever. So it's actually even helped some of my agents on the phone because they've
Mm-hmm.
been reading these messages, and it just builds them up more confidence. And I think that's the biggest thing for especially new agents in our business, is getting them confidence really quickly. So if you can put them in, a campaign like this, they get 2 weeks free, and they can see a win or two that maybe they were a little hesitant on the phone because they didn't know what to come back with that rebuttal. You stick them in TurboTax, somebody says, "Oh, I'm not interested anymore." boom, you have a template of a message to send to them. And that person didn't have to think of any witty saying or anything. They
Right.
just copy and pasted, make sure their name and everything's right in there. Boom, they send it. So to me, that's one of my favorite features for newer agents to be able to
Yeah.
have that. For me personally, it's just the text campaign itself. Like to me, it's just being able to put a number, whether that lead was 6, 7 months old. I'm sure there's a bunch of agents on here, or, that know that are listening in, or maybe have leads from a year ago. You can still put them in turbo text. I mean, you're going to put them in there. They may get a message and they go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I've had, again, 6-month-old leads that's been put in there, and that drip campaign is just so nice with text message that I know I've got a few that's set up at like 9 a.m. So
Mhm.
like 9 a.m. like today, I had 9 responses to a message that went out this morning. So I've got 9 people right here on my notepad that I'm following up with and talking to, that I called, that I never got a hold of them, but they text back at 9 a.m. So it's like I've always got people in the funnel to follow up with as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I'd probably have to agree with you. The constant follow up, the drip campaign. You can send old leads from people got stacks of old leads, thousands in their CRM. They just pretty much like aren't going to call again and just ignore. But now you could just start a free trial of TurboTax, throw a list of 100, 200 old leads in there. You're going to book a few and you're going to make some money. You're going to sell some of those and protect those families, most importantly. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, try that, give that a go.
Yep.
Because those old leads, there's still some gold left in there. It's like sifting through it, and TurboTax just does it a lot faster. You don't have to call every single one individually. It'll just sift through them. It's kind of like when you're shaking out some dirt, right, on one of those pans, and then all the gold rises to the top. That's the way I look at it with TurboTax. It just quickly sifts through all those lists of old leads, and the gold rises to the top, and you help those families. So that's super cool that me and you have that same mindset of leveraging software like this to maximize your investment with those leads and really resolve every single one and work them too. You got to work them. I think some people, they think it's like a one click and go, and then it's going to do everything for you. It's going to do majority of the work for you, but you still got to text them back. You got to work the leads, set the appointments, but it's going to be a lot faster than manually texting every single person, right? And with
Yep.
TurboTax, it's going to put in that client's first name automatically. It pulls that first name in. It's going to put in your name. It's going to put in the state automatically that you're texting them in. And it looks like a legitimate personalized text right to each individual client, just like that. So it's leverage. Everyone knows in business, if you want to scale, you want to build a big team, you want to have the most impact and the most reach, is to leverage technology, leverage software, leverage money to have it work for you and set yourself up and your team up as much as possible. So that's super awesome. I'm glad. I just get excited hearing stories and all your wins, and other people text me pretty much every day like, oh, just booked an appointment, or oh, just sold one, or just super stoked because they're getting more appointments and they're getting more sales just by leveraging the software. So, with that, I just wanted everyone else on here to hear Daniel, hear his story, his experience so far. He's utilizing the tool. Anyone else can do this, just like he's doing it. He's just working the leads. He's being consistent. He's sending out lead batches consistently. One more question for you before we wrap this thing up. When it comes to how consistent you're doing, and maybe even the more technical side of things, how large are your text batches you're sending out, and how consistent, and just kind of like that structure you've been doing that's been working for you?
Yeah. So being all telesales, my deal is I triple dial every lead 3 times. I usually try to triple dial every lead once morning, once mid-afternoon, once evening. Once I've done that, then that whole lead batch gets dropped in to TurboTax. Usually, again, it's about 100 to 150, depending on how many I bought that day. And I'm working 1-month-old leads, mostly in the CRM anyway, so they're already a little aged. So I drop them in there, and out of a hundred, I know I'm going to get usually between 5 and 10 positive text back. Of course, I get the ones that are like, no, this isn't Sarah, or no, this isn't that person. But again, to me, that's good because it's still me resolving the lead.
Right.
It's me going through and knowing. So you just got to think, if you're running appointments and you're, getting, let's say, 10, 15 appointments for your 2 run days, and you can squeeze out of that same batch that you've already paid for of leads an extra 3 or 4 appointments. That's the difference of you paying for your leads, paying for TurboTax, everything, just by utilizing, putting the leads that you're already buying. So it's not like you're buying more leads to put in here or doing anything else. You're just doing what you're already doing. You're just adding like a door knock to all these leads is basically what you're doing. Just a quick, hey, throw them in there. And, I've got a couple agents that are on it that are not tech savvy by any means. So if you're out there and you're like, hey, I'm not sure how to, it's all I can do to get my leads from the CRM to phone burner or whatever you're using. But like, it's not that difficult. It's just getting them out and it's putting them in there. It's very simple, very, thorough, walks you through step by step. You guys have done a great job with how-to videos too. So if you ever like have something that's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, you just watch a video and it literally explains, shows you on your screen exactly what to do.
Right. Awesome. Love it, dude. And yeah, happy to have you on here and just quickly, just to share your testimony, share your experience, get the word out. Cause I know there's a lot of other agents out there that wish there was something like this. They just don't know it's there. Cause I've talked to a few and they go, whoa, wait, that exists? Like, I want that right now. And they immediately set up an account because they just didn't know it was out there. And maybe I could do a better job, sharing the word, but I'm just happy agents are winning. It's fun for me to see people winning with this. I just built it for myself because I needed it. And I didn't see anything else specifically for life insurance agents out there that's set up like this. So I just made it for myself, realized it works. I made thousands of dollars extra with TurboTax. So I was like, other agents might need this as well. Let's design it, set it up, make it easy for them to set up and get a campaign going for themselves. So with that, appreciate the time, Daniel. You jumped on here, shared your experience. And for those watching for the first time, or maybe those of you that are considering it or don't really understand what TurboTax is, how it works, all that, just go to turbo-text.com. Don't forget the dash in the middle, text.com. And on there's a video explaining how it all works. You can read the testimonies on there, and as well as the promo code for limited time. I don't know how long we're going to keep doing this, but for now, at least, while I'm making this video, is a promo code 30FFL, 30FFL. That's going to give you 30% off for life with TurboTax. So you're going to get a major discount. It's $97. You get the 30% off. You're looking at $67. It's a tax write-off anyway, and you're going to make that money back as soon as you send out your first text blast. So it's worth it. And with that, if you guys have questions, comment below. Happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And check out the website, check out the software. I'm excited for you guys to try it out yourself. And once again, thanks, Daniel, for hopping on here and sharing your experience.
Absolutely. Thanks, Zach.
All right. See you guys later.